So, if you're in fundraising, you know the drill. That constant pressure to bring in support is real. And a really common habit, I mean, we've probably all done it, is to just blast out a bunch of cold proposals. But today, we're going to ask a really important question. Is that habit actually getting you anywhere? Or is it just a massive, massive waste of your precious time? You know that feeling, right? You spend all morning crafting what you think is the perfect proposal, you build out your list, and then you hit send on 50 emails. And you get this instant psychological rush, this buzz of activity. It really feels like you just accomplished something huge. And that's really the heart of our question today. Is that amazing feeling we get actually connected to real results? Or are we just caught up in the motion of it all, mistaking frantic activity for actual, meaningful progress toward our goals? Well, this brings us right to something called the productivity trap. It's this super common pitfall where the feeling of being busy totally masks the fact that we're not actually being effective at all. The first part of this trap is super simple. Sending out dozens and dozens of proposals absolutely feels like work. I mean, it's tangible, right? You can count the emails, you can check them off a to-do list, it gives you a solid answer when your boss asks, "Hey, what'd you get done today?" But here's the tough part, the hard truth. It is almost always a false sense of productivity. Yeah, the action is real, you definitely sent the emails, but the impact? It's often tiny. You might be incredibly busy, but the data really shows you're probably not getting any closer to securing that funding you so desperately need. So why? Why doesn't it work? Well, the reason is all about a fundamental gap in strategy. It really comes down to how you see your potential donors. Are they partners who believe in your mission, or are they just walking ATMs? Okay, now what's so powerful about this slide is how clearly it lays out these two completely different mindsets. A cold proposal, that is purely transactional. You see it right there on the left. The message is basically, we have a need, you have money, give it to us. It treats the donor like a machine. But look at the right side, the transformational mindset. It's a whole different world. It's about a shared vision, a true partnership, and treating the donor like a valued ally in your work. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. See, the expectations of donors have totally changed. They're not just passive check writers anymore. They want to be involved. They want to feel like they're a real part of the solution. They want to be a partner in making change happen. So how in the world do we fix this? Well, it takes what we're calling the shared value shift. It's about fundamentally changing the entire conversation, moving away from a one-sided request for cash to a meaningful discussion about mutual goals. So what is this shared value thing? Think of it as this incredible alignment. It's that sweet spot where your organization's mission and the donor's personal values, their vision for the world, they just overlap perfectly. It's that magic moment when you stop being just another line item in their budget and you become a core partner in their personal mission. And this is exactly why the old method just doesn't work anymore. A generic, cold, one-size-fits-all proposal, just by its nature, cannot possibly communicate this deep, personal, shared value. It's like using a sledgehammer to perform brain surgery. It is just not the right tool for the job. Okay, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do this when the pressure is on and you have payroll to meet? Let's map out a real-world, practical path to start cultivating these relationships that actually matter. And let's just be completely honest about the reality for so many organizations, especially here in South Africa. You need funding, and you need it like yesterday. Building relationships takes time, and time is a luxury you might feel like you just don't have. So what's the practical first move? All right, here is a pragmatic, real-world approach. Step 1, look, if you absolutely have to, go ahead and send that initial cold proposal just to get on their radar. But, and this is the most important part, step 2, do not get discouraged when you get rejected or more likely hear nothing back. You have to see that silence not as an end, but as the real beginning. Step 3 is where the magic happens. Follow up with the sole intention of cultivating a relationship. The goal is not to ask for money again. It's just to start a conversation, which leads right into step 4. Shift the entire focus away from that one-time transaction and toward building a long-term partnership. So look, if you take one thing away from this whole explainer, let it be this. The crucial point is the pivot. You have to consciously and intentionally shift your strategy, your language, and your entire mindset away from just getting transactions and toward building meaningful, transformational partnerships. And that really leaves us with a final question to think about. As you look at your own fundraising efforts, ask yourself this, honestly. Is your daily work just building a long list of one-off transactions? Or are you truly investing your time and your energy into building a committed community of partners who genuinely share your vision? Because that answer, that's what will ultimately define your success.